Next up, Terry Bickers, formerly guitarist and founding member of the House of Love, until his old chum, Guy Chadwick, gave him the proverbial boot. Guy and Terry's parting has not been exactly friendly, with the soft-spoken Chadwick going so far as to berate and insult his former sidekick in the press. Terry, as you can well imagine, was a bit taken aback by this, but he hasn't lost time moping about it, no siree bob. No, he's formed a new band called Levitation and gone out on a European tour to drum up a record deal and a large, juicy advance. And who can blame him? It gets cold these nights, particularly when you're standing outside the House of Love. Terry Bickers about Guy Chadwick and the rest of the band for Rapido, now.
One of the less savoury rock breakups of recent years occurred when Guy Chadwick and guitarist Terry Bickers parted company in early 1990. Chadwick claimed that Bickers wasn't in tune with the House of Love.
Oh, he was very important, and I started the group with him. He was the first person that I got involved with. And I still am very sad about the fact that he's not in the group anymore, because he put so much energy into the early sort of year, 2 years, of the group. And his enthusiasm was fantastic. But I think he just went off being in the group, and it got to the point where he just didn't contribute anything and started to become very destructive, and really made it difficult for the group to carry on.
Still smarting from some of the highly personal criticisms Guy Chadwick has made about him in the past, Bickers, seen here at a sound check with his new group, Levitation, is equally critical of Chadwick.
It's someone that had to justify to himself why a great producer, guitarist, was no longer in his band because of his ego. Because we've fought for the last 6 months before my departure. He smashed the guitars on stage during sound checks, things like that, and we knocked each other.
For 3 years in the late 80s, Chadwick and Bickers worked together to make the House of Love one of the most acclaimed new bands around. Now the fallout from Bickers' departure continues.
Me and Guy, we go out, we've gone to a Chinese restaurant, we have a meal, we say, okay, c'est la vie. He's asked me to rejoin the band. I mean, he told me, the guitarist he's got now, Simon Walker, fantastic guitarist, brilliant guitarist. Guy Chadwick says to me, he says, his guitar playing is like a disease, and that is the honest truth. That is what Guy is, that's where his head is at. He asked me to join, to come back to Paris to do a secret gig with the House of Love. He's very creepy.
1990 was a busy year for Bickers. His newly formed band, Levitation, recently went on a showcase mini-tour supporting Galaxy 500 in Belgium, and in this Paris concert opening for Ride. Record company interest has materialised in the form of a publishing deal with Mike Smith of MCA Music.
I think Terry Bickers was one of the most inspirational guitarists I'd ever seen. I was never a big fan of the House of Love, and I saw them by accident on a Doing It for the Kids gig at the Town and Country Club in London. And I'd seen very few guitarists that really inspired you to want to get up and be a guitarist on stage. He was so charismatic and so powerful, and he just swooped down the stage and looked so intense, and it was very exciting.
You'll catch yourself on that tongue someday. The ruin's complete, cheap man with advertisement, not saved.
Not only well and truly out of love with his former band, but also with the British music press, Terry Bickers sees Levitation's bright new future in Europe.
We're going to move to Holland. We're leaving England behind. Forget it. Who needs the enemy melody maker sounds? We're leaving. We're going to Europe. We're actually going to do festivals in Prague, Czechoslovakia. We've joined a cooperative, socialist cooperative. We're going to rock it.